Thank you and welcome to the Grande Pacific Model Railroad. Today we're going to bring you into Rockridge and update what we've been doing on the scenery. As we come into the east end of Rockridge, we pass our materials and coal company. For all you Walters fans, that's King Coal, OB King Coal. Then we come past the co-op, and we'll have Beaver Lumber. Beaver Lumber looks like it's a lot of business there. Needs some of that lumber off that load. This end is lacking a lot of the detail on roads, how they're going to go, and so forth. As we come into Rockridge here and the siding, we also have an east and a west interchange tracks for pickup by the freights. In the background you see the Rockridge Coca-Cola bottling company that gets its fructose syrup and packaging in box cars, tank cars. And we have a beer wholesalership, which is Mulecoy Incorporated. In the foreground you see the Rockville station. And the California Zephyr does come through here and stop. Next we come to Glazer Wholesale Liquor. And of course they handle some of the finest products, as you can see by the billboards on the building. This is a Walters kit in front with a platform added. The additional warehouse in the background is a model builder's building, and it was put on foam core, and as you can see it fills out the rest of the space. The Coca-Cola bottling company was created by me, and that is also a foam core building. Model builder's building put on foam core board. The scenery in the background behind those buildings is Scenic King's backgrounds. Moving down, the next building you come to is the Central Baking Company, and it gets bulk product cars, and it has box cars for pickups, packaging materials, and some pickup of some outgoing product. Most of it is shipped by truck on the other side of the building. Next we come to Philip Morris USA, and this is a large public storage warehouse for the distribution of cigarettes throughout the local area. Next you come to Paper Mill, which has boxcar unloading for receiving necessary packaging material and shipping of final paper goods to various places, one being the Rocky Mountain Printing Company and several other people. The paper company, of course, has wood chip unloading here in the front, and it's taken over to the back side of the building via the vacuum system, and it's stacked up in the yard behind the building. We also get chemical cars to Peak Paper. They need several different chemicals, and they need mud to help make the paper. Next to this is the Hoffa Cement Company. Their motto is, "We keep your feet in concrete." And we have a number of hopper cars that are in here. Some are empty, some are full. As we see, the train now passes behind and goes into the tunnel headed towards the New River Mine. We are currently putting the train on the siding. But this is the town of Rockridge. It's located on the Grande Pacific Model Railroad, and we're located in Houma, Louisiana. You can see a detailed update of all of this and follow this railroad at www.grandepacificmodelrr.org. Comments are welcome. Emails can be sent. I also run a blog on Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine, and I will post this update on that magazine. It's free. Go to modelrailroadhobbyist.com. It's a great source of information for the hobby. Now we swing through the town of Why and Why Not, where the New River Mine is located. And our coal train comes down into out of the siding and into the service tracks and the service area, which can be operated. There is two switches missing here that have not been installed, one for equipment, and then there'll be a loading area in the back for large diameter coal. Next to it is also the Atm Elevator. Many of the buildings on this layout were built by Jim Laughlin. This is one of them, and he weathered it. Really an outstanding job. And this is one of the railroads about 56 miles down the road, the Crescent City Model Railroad Club, the Crescent Lines. Now, the elevation separation from the back to the front, this is a different whirl here in the front, so that we don't have any duck unders in this railroad. The room is 20 by 50. This railroad is in some areas triple decked. All the staging and storage yards on the bottom level, which I call level 1. You're looking at level 2, which is the majority of the level, and then you have level 3 up above. This level is at 40 inches, and this level is 30 inches deep. And to give you an idea, this level is at 60 inches, and it is 18 inches deep. This is the town of Salamosa, and it is the interchange yard for the narrow gauge, which is, believe me, a long way down the road as before you'll see anything finished here. Our coal train continues to move up into Y. That's WHY. And as you see in the foreground, the car card boxes for the town of Rockridge. The railroad is an operational railroad. We operate on a regular basis, and we use car cards when we move the trains. I'm very familiar with rail ops and am not happy to use it. Going to wait until JMRI gets it. This railroad is also run by NCE. All switches, all mainline switches are remote and are controlled through the NCE system. That's the little white boxes you see. There are no control panels on the second level. If you need to throw that switch, you throw it from your controller by selecting accessory that number. And in this case, you would select number 2 because it's in the number 1 position. May not be the most gracious looking way to do this, but I have so many visitors and so many operators, you have to identify things, and I don't want them trying to stumble through some diagram on the front panel trying to figure out where that switch is and what its number is. So that's the easiest way to do it. The blocks are detected on about 3/4 of the railroad, and there is a layout editor, diagram of the layout, and we can use a dispatcher to run the trains during a session. Eventually the whole railroad will be done, and I may put some signals in. That's a question yet. I have to see how that goes, because one of the problems is, if you notice in these shots like this layout, I have ground throws for switching and everything in the rear. We do put in some magnets for uncoupling, so most of the time that'll work. But still, sometimes it doesn't, and you have to pick the coupler to get it to uncouple, and that means a hand's going over there. So when you have signals sticking up, people tend to snag them, shirt sleeves or whatever. But this will conclude the update on the Grande Pacific Model Railroad and the town of Rockridge. And this is kind of a big overall picture of this side of the room. Over here is Silverville, up above is Grizzly. And this is covered in the other, a lot of this is covered in the other video. And we will be getting into some of this in the future to update it. Hope you enjoy it. If you like to operate, get in touch with me.